Well, it is so lovely to see all of your faces here at the 4th Montana Farm to School Summit. It has been such a slog to get here, so woohoo! After being postponed for a year, it's just great to be here with you in person as well as our awesome virtual attendees. So if you don't know me already, I'm Aubrey Roth. I'm the Montana Farm to School Coordinator with Montana Teen Nutrition Program. Montana Teen Nutrition Program is housed at Montana State University and works in close collaboration with the Montana Office of Public Instruction and partners across the state to provide training, resources, and support to the K-12 schools that promote engaging, food-based education, foster positive food relationships, and cultivate healthy school environments. It's such an honor to see most of your faces and be here with you again, especially during this time. I've been in awe of your creativity, commitment, and energy despite the challenges and hardships you have encountered. Even though your plate was full with ever-changing needs of your schools, centers, programs, and communities, you forged ahead with your farm to school efforts. When students were learning at home, you made at-home taste tests, educational activities, and garden kits. You hosted virtual cooking classes, offered distance and masked learning in school gardens, and partnered with local restaurants and producers. You showed up to virtual events, even when you were sick of Zoom, and to learn more about farm to school, and you implemented new ideas. And then, despite your busy schedules, despite your desire to rest and relax, you made it time to be here, and that means a lot to me. It's this commitment and creativity that keeps farm to school steadily growing in our state. In 2017, 54% of Montana schools reported implementing at least one of the farm to school elements. And at the start of the 2020 school year, that grew to 58%, slow and steady. As you'll learn from other speakers, the USDA Farm to School Census paints a wonderful picture of your farm to school efforts across our state. I'm also grateful for this land that we're meeting on today, for its beauty and its bounty. I acknowledge and honor with respect the Indigenous nations whose traditional homelands that we now stand and whose historical relationships with land continue to this day. While a land acknowledgement is not enough, it is an important social justice and decolonial practice that promotes Indigenous visibility and a reminder that we are on settled Indigenous land. Throughout this conference, we have sessions, resources, and foods that highlight Native culture and knowledge and the connections of Native food sovereignty with farm to school initiatives. I hope you take part and enjoy these opportunities. The 3 core elements of farm to school, buying and serving local foods, nutrition, agriculture, and food-based education, and growing and raising food with children, contribute to resiliency. Resiliency has become increasingly necessary as we contend with an ongoing pandemic, effects of climate change, and political, racial, and economic division. While these are big issues that no one program can fully address, Farm to School provides a unifying cause that positively impacts our communities, state, nation, and beyond. Within this framework, there's so much possibility and room for creativity, and I'm excited that you have joined us at the Montana Farm to School Summit to get a taste of that from our over 60 presenters to share your own experiences. The purpose of the summit is to provide inspiration, training, resources, and to facilitate connections across farm to school stakeholders from farms to schools and beyond. So with no further ado, I'm honored to introduce our first speaker, USDA Deputy Undersecretary Stacey Dean. She serves as the Deputy Undersecretary for USDA's Food, Nutrition, and Consumer Services to increase nutrition assistance and opportunities for eligible participants. Prior to USDA, Dean was Vice President for Food Assistance Policy at the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, directing policy and reports on the effect of federal nutrition programs on families and communities. While she was unable to join us in person, she sent us a wonderful video to kick off our event.
Good morning and welcome to the 2021 Montana Farm to School Summit. I want to begin by saying thank you to the Montana Team Nutrition, the Montana Office of Public Instruction, and the entire Montana Farm to School leadership team, and so many other key partners who lead farm to school efforts and have helped to organize this event, especially amid the current challenges. During these difficult times, much has rightfully been said about food insecurity, a dire fact of life faced by so many Americans and their families. Yet, as USDA Secretary Vilsack often reminds us, its tandem effect, nutrition insecurity, or the lack of access to a healthy diet, is also a significant challenge for too many in our country. The farm-to-school community understands these dual challenges and how we can make meaningful progress in meeting children's needs. The teachers, food service staff, parents, and others vested in our youth appreciate the importance of bringing local foods into our children's nutrition programs and educating children about where their food comes from. Farm to School is built around the principle that healthy habits take root early. That's why you deserve our deepest gratitude for your contributions to Montana's farm to school successes and the growth of this vital movement. I know this is a busy time of year, both for farmers and for schools. The Biden administration has also been busy getting down to work on a number of priorities. Under the president's leadership, USDA is working tirelessly to build back better, strengthening our federal nutrition programs and removing barriers to ensure that our children and families have the resources they need to access healthy, affordable food. As we speak, too many of our friends and neighbors are struggling to meet basic needs and cover necessary expenses. And the health crisis we're facing is more complicated than just the toll hunger takes. Today, 1/5 of American children are obese. Not surprisingly, research shows that this increases the likelihood of obesity in adults, creating financial strains on families and our healthcare systems, and our ability to remain safe and secure as a nation. And the pandemic has exacerbated these challenges, adding greater urgency to the already critical issue of nutrition insecurity, one we know disproportionately burdens low-income families, especially those in communities of color. Black, Latino, Native American, as well as people living in rural and low-income counties suffer the greatest disparities in nutritional quality, food insecurity, and corresponding diet-related disease. That's where USDA programs come into play. To promote healthier diets and racial equity requires our swift, bold action. It calls for measures that transform the federal nutrition safety net to not only focus on food security, but that also address nutrition security. Put more plainly, those least advantaged among us deserve our support. At USDA, we embrace the idea that people at all times should have access to nutritious foods that meet their dietary needs and support an active and healthy life. In good times and tough times, the federal nutrition safety net is the most far-reaching tool available to ensure all Americans, regardless of race, income, or zip code, have access to healthy, safe, affordable food. Farm to school programs are an integral part of this solution. They support American farmers and help provide a spark to our economy, all while giving schools the flexibility to grow and offer locally produced foods on their menus. Still, we understand that you face challenges, especially in the more remote areas of the country, where everyone is stretched thin and wearing many hats. We know rural communities need more resources, and USDA is taking note. The President's budget for next year calls for an additional $12 million to be provided to farm-to-school grants for a total of $17 million in 2022. We hope this increased investment will allow the successful partnership to grow and thrive. Each year, these grants help fund projects that increase the amount of local food served through child nutrition programs, as well as teach children about food and agriculture through classroom education and hands-on gardening experiences. I want to be sure to take this opportunity to personally congratulate the recently awarded Montana USDA Farm to School grantees. Because of your efforts, many more in your state can look forward to a brighter tomorrow. It's amazing to see how students involved in Farm to School open their minds to trying foods they've grown and prepared, and how much the little ones enjoy getting their hands dirty. USDA released the most recent Farm to School census report, and the results are surprising. Farm to School programs have expanded nationwide. Now nearly 2/3 of all school lunch operators participate in Farm to School, and nearly half of those who participate are active in 7 or more Farm to School activities. Our new Census website allows users to easily find data and compare stats at the national, state, and local level. We hope you'll check it out on the Food and Nutrition Service website. At USDA, we believe that when American families and children do well, our nation thrives. Charting a healthier course for our families is an investment in our future. It's a value we all share and one that we rely on all of you to help execute on the ground. Thank you again for your efforts in helping healthier habits take root in our children. That dedication lifts your respective communities and benefits our nation more than you could ever imagine. So let's not wait any longer. Let's build back better together.
Our next speaker had planned to join us in person, but due to COVID travel restrictions, had a change of plans. However, she was able to prepare a video for us to share her remarks. I'm delighted to next introduce Julie Brewer. Julie Brewer is the director of the USDA Food and Nutrition Service, Office of Community Food Systems. Julie hails from Missoula, Montana, and we hope she can return to Montana soon for a visit.
Hi, everyone. It is my great honor to have this chance to welcome you to the Montana Farm to School Summit. While I'm terribly disappointed that I can't be with you in person, I'm thankful that technology allows me to participate virtually. I want to start by echoing Deputy Undersecretary Stacy Dean's gratitude to the team of partners organizing this event and the invitation to participate. I would especially like to thank Aubrey Roth. You have overcome so many setbacks to get to this week. Thank you for your persistence and creativity and flexibility. The agenda looks amazing, and I can't wait to check out some of the virtual content. As a native Montanan, I grew up literally and professionally in this beautiful state. This is where I learned that one person with a seed of an idea can partner with a few others to champion that idea toward deep and lasting change that impacts a community for generations to come. Part of my work as the director of the Montana Hunger Coalition back in the 1990s involved traveling to every corner of the state and everywhere in between to work with community members as they assessed their food system, identified gaps, and collaborated to create solutions to those gaps. Those solutions varied as widely as the scenery along the way, but they were community-driven, and many were the stepping stones to the fantastic work underway today across the state to build a thriving local food system. It's been more than 20 years since I left Montana, but some of the champions I worked with then are still at the table with you. And it's wonderful to see that a new generation of leaders are picking up the task and making extraordinary innovations and progress that deserves to be celebrated. Whenever I travel home to Montana, I'm so impressed with the deep pride of place and natural, seemingly easy option for choosing local. It's not like that everywhere, and despite impressions, I know it's not easy. I deeply respect and appreciate the decades of work and the cultural underpinnings that go into that impression of making the local choice the easy choice, and I want to applaud you for what you've already achieved. I was asked to share a little bit about how Montana fits into the bigger picture of farm to school nationwide. Let me just say that Andrea Alma, our spectacular farm to school regional lead in the Mountain Plains region, didn't have to twist my arm too hard to get me to brag about Montana because you are crushing it. Some might call me biased because I'm a Montana girl, but seriously, the data supports it. My team at the USDA Office of Community Food Systems conducts a periodic census of farm to school activity across the nation. You may have seen the announcement last month of the results of the 2019 census. Guess what? Montana is a rock star, not only nationally, but also in the Mountain Plains region. Montana leads the region and exceeds the national average of farm to school activity in several categories. 69% of your school food authorities participate in some farm to school activities. That's above the national 65% average. Montana is fifth, top 5 in the nation, with 68% of your schools cultivating edible gardens, and you top the charts in the region for the percent of school food authorities using garden harvests for educational activities. 3 out of 5 school food authorities in Montana serve local foods, which again puts you at the top of the region, but you also do a great job of tracking your progress, measuring the impact of your work, and telling the story. These are some incredible numbers. Congratulations for all the great work underway, and what a solid foundation to build upon as you strategize on what's next for farm to school in your community and state. In fact, across the country, Farm to School is growing. Most schools are engaged in some farm to school activity, and about 20 cents of every school food dollar is spent on local products. But the data also exposes some gaps in farm to school that our team at OCFS is looking to address. For example, the census finds that rural and small schools are less likely to participate in farm to school than their suburban and urban counterparts. We think we have some ideas about why that's so, but given the success of farm to school in places like Montana, we would certainly like to learn more from you about how to launch and sustain farm to school in rural areas. The census also shows that while there is robust procurement of local food for meals, most of that is completed through distributors like USDA Foods, DoD Fresh, and private sector distributors. However, more than half of the farm to school food authorities in Montana connect directly with farmers to buy local, which is the highest rate of farm direct local purchasing in the region and much higher than the national average. The strong direct connections between schools and farmers in Montana can really serve as a model and an innovation lab for others wanting to improve these connections. We have much to learn from your experience here. And as you heard earlier, Secretary Vilsack is keenly focused on building strong, sustainable, and equitable food systems that support food and nutrition security in both prosperous and challenging times. Farm to School is an important component to achieving these goals. Now is the perfect time to reflect on what has been accomplished and the lessons learned, and use those lessons to envision a brighter, better way forward. I hope you will take the opportunity over the next 2 days to do just that. Again, thank you for participating in this summit. Thank you for all the great work you've already done and will continue to do to keep Montana a shining star in Farm to School. I can't wait to see what you achieve next.
Next, we have words of welcome and encouragement from our congressional delegates. First, I'll share remarks from Senator Steve Daines.
Well, a warm welcome to Helena for the Montana Farm to School Summit. You know, Montana has a rich legacy of agriculture, and there's no doubt that education helps inspire young Montanans to pursue careers in Montana's #1 economic driver. Many Montana schools have wonderful programs that teach students of all ages about the importance of local foods, of nutrition, and agriculture. Through workshops, field trips, and utilizing school gardens, young Montanans are gaining hands-on experience in a field that's so critical to our Montana way of life. And I'm so very thankful for your dedication to educating the next generation of leaders in Montana. And I look forward to the success of Montana Farm to School programs across our entire state. Enjoy the rest of your conference, and thanks for what you do.
All right. So next we have a live person, a real live person. So we have Jessie Anderson from Senator Tester's office to share remarks. Welcome, Jessie.
First, my name is Jessie Anderson. I'm Senator Tester's agriculture liaison here in Helena. I've been with the senator for about 7 years now. And I personally just want to thank all of you for all the hard work you guys do. I know the senator is going to acknowledge you in the letter I write, but I know this year's been hard. And with that, I'll read a quick message because I know you guys have a lot of work to do. From Senator Tester. Hello, and thank you for inviting me to share a few words with you today. And thank you to the many partners that helped organize this event. And your work is appreciated and is truly making a difference across our state. I don't have to tell you the importance of keeping our kids fed in schools. I was never able to learn on an empty stomach, and the science tells us that nobody can. That's why the farm to school program is critically important to our state. Oftentimes, school is the only place where kids can get a healthy meal, and the work you all do to make this happen should never be politicized. Beyond ensuring that kids eat well, farm to school connects with the local producers, educates them about where their food comes from, and not only does this teach our kids about the food systems, but it promotes lifelong healthy habits. Because of that, I'm working closely with the Senate Agriculture Committee to reauthorize child nutrition programs across Montana and across the nation. I'm also fighting to pass the Kids Eat Local Act that would cut red tape and allow schools to order local products from the best producers in the world, which is right here in Montana. This program is great for the children of our state. That's why I worked to secure $17 million in farm to school grants in the Senate Ag Appropriations Bill. Keeping our kids fed should be a no-brainer, and doing it with Montana products should make just as much sense. Thank you for the work you're all doing to make this happen, and as your senator, know that my door is always open. And thanks again, and enjoy the summit.